If you like $9 Mondays, you will love our Rest of 2022 special currently running at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Bet right alongside the handicapper of your choice through the rest of the calendar year for less than $7 per day as we head down the stretch of 2022 with 14 weeks of NFL and college football, MLB through the World Series, over 11 weeks of NHL, over 10 weeks of NBA, and over 7 weeks of college basketball. Plus any soccer, golf, MMA, or other sports your go-to handicapper releases. Lock in the 3 biggest months of betting action for only $7 per day through Sunday, October 2nd, 2022.
Welcome into First Pitch for Friday, September 30th. I am Drew Martin, joined by Brian Power and Dave Koken of WagerTalk.com for the final first pitch of the month of September. But we're going to try to find you some winners here. We got playoffs right around the corner with some good games. Braves and Mets, top of the NL East. We got the Twins and the Detroit Tigers, and the D-backs and the San Francisco Giants. Get a couple tight spreads in there late. But guys, let's get after it. And probably the marquee game of the night. This has a playoff feel to it. Dave, coming to you first. We get DeGrom versus Fried here. Talk about playoff matchup possibilities. Minus 130. That's the Metropolitans in the ATL. Total of 6.5. Are you liking anything in Cobb County tonight, Dave?
I don't like much of anything in baseball today, to be quite honest. And I'm not betting anything. I'll give away a best bet at the end of the show, but I actually have no plays today. Here, I think we get a pitching duel that lives up to expectations. Two of the best in the game in DeGrom and Fried. I think you're going to see teams playing small ball here, trying to scratch across a run. So even with the low total, I'll bank on the two pitchers to get it done and play a first 5 under between the Mets and the Braves. I can't give you any more reasoning than the obvious. It's two great pitchers, and you would expect them to both be at the top of their game in what amounts to a playoff game tonight.
Brian, you know, the Mets can clinch the NL East and, of course, get the bye. It's very important in baseball coming into the playoffs with one win in this series. They do own the season tiebreaker, 9-7 over the Braves. Are you liking anything here in the ATL tonight?
It's tough. I mean, the price certainly is tempting with DeGrom, even though he's off his worst start in 3 years. Allowed 5 runs in 4 innings to the A's of all teams. I don't know if we can just chalk that up to the fact he'd never faced Oakland before or what. A bit of a head scratcher. And what was really crazy is the Mets had jumped out to a 3-0 lead in that game. So probably the last thing any Mets fan was expecting when they were up 3-0. DeGrom's got a 2.08 ERA in 27 career starts against the Braves. But consider this, and this had me a little bit weary. He was in a similar price range, because obviously we don't see him in this price range very often, here in Atlanta back on August 18th. And despite a quality start, DeGrom took the loss. Opposite whom? Max Fried, who is obviously not chopped liver, like Dave kind of mentioned there. 14 starts since July 1st for Fried, and he's given up more than 3 runs in only one of them. Atlanta lost Wednesday, and we've talked about this before, I think, on the show. They're 38-18 off a loss, very good, and they're really great at home. I wouldn't feel great about it, but I just think DeGrom probably bounces back after the rare subpar outing, and I would lay the price. If the Mets win twice this weekend, they're really in good shape to win this division. So a slight lean to the Mets as DeGrom gets his revenge from August 18th.
All right, Brian, we're coming back to you here with an AL Central matchup. Sum up. We're getting the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers. We get the Twins minus 155, Tigers plus 145 on the other side. Alexander going for Detroit, Ryan going for the Twins. High, I guess kind of a high price, minus 160 at some shops right now. Twins is the road favorite. Are you liking anything in this AL Central battle, Brian?
Yeah, of the games we're talking about today, this is the one I actually like the most. Ryan, he's 3-0 this season against the Tigers, 1.02 ERA. He's given up just 2 runs and 8 hits, 17 2/3 innings in those starts, 25-2 strikeout to walk ratio. And while he wasn't that sharp last time out, allowed 3 runs in 4 innings, he still has a 1.45 ERA and 0.75 whip over his last 3 starts. Alexander's been pretty good for the Tigers the last 2 starts. I understand that. He faced the Twins once this year, opposite Ryan, ironically enough. And while Alexander took the loss, he pitched well. 2 runs on 2 hits allowed. Detroit, shockingly, has won 6 straight. That's the longest active win streak in MLB. Who would have thought that on the final first pitch of September? So they're not going to lose 100 games. They're trying to avoid a last-place finish in the AL Central. They're up half a game on the Royals now. But here's the thing. Over the course of the season, Alexander, his numbers don't resemble the last 2 starts. He's been known to have a bad start, usually on the road. He is at home here. Team's just 3-12 with him on the mound. And the Tigers' offense, unreliable. 29th in on-base percentage, dead last in slugging. I trust Ryan and his numbers against the Tigers more. Give me the road team.
Like it, Brian. And Dave, coming to you. Any quick thoughts here in the AL Central?
I'll disagree. I don't think the Twins give a shit. This is a team that thought they were going to be in the playoffs, and they're not. And they look like a team that just wants to get it over with as we head to the finish line. The Tigers, for whatever reason, are playing their best baseball of the season. Give me the hot team at a plus price. There's nothing more to it than that. I've got a team winning 6 in a row that looks like they're at least caring against a team that wants to go play golf or go to Hawaii or whatever. The Twins season is over. I'll take the team that's trying harder.
I think there's a phrase in the NBA coming to the end of the season, and it's called like 1, 2, 3 Cancun. For the teams not going to the playoffs. Maybe a little something like that here in MLB coming to the end. I don't think it's that drastic compared to the NBA. But, guys, we got 1 game left. Heading out west for the nightcap on the show. We get the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants, who pretty amazingly are not eliminated from the playoffs just yet. They're hanging on by a thin thread here. Minus 130 favorites. Dave, coming to you first. Cobb versus Kelly, plus 120 on the other side for the Diamondbacks. Are you liking anything in the nightcap?
I've said this several times, so I'll say it again. The Diamondbacks are a team that's playing. You'd think they were in the playoff race. I mean, the young guys they've called up have really been producing, and they're playing for roster spots for next year. And I think trying to build momentum for next year. Giants have been a little better lately. Alex Cobb is solid on the mound, but Joe Kelly's had a good year for Arizona. And again, this is kind of like the last game. This Diamondbacks team is playing like they want to win every game. So to me, fairly even pitching matchup between Kelly and Cobb. I'll take my chances with Merrill Kelly at a plus price. And I'll go with the Diamondbacks here.
Okay. And Brian, this is actually a rematch of Saturday's game, Arizona and San Francisco, the same pitching matchup, which Arizona won 5-2. And Cobb actually gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, not looking that good against this D-backs lineup. So, hey, is it enough for you to get on the dog here, plus 120?
It is, and what's crazy is this is the 4th meeting this season between Kelly and Cobb. Kelly and the Diamondbacks, they're 2-1 in the previous 3. You mentioned the last one being Saturday. Kelly, just simply the better pitcher that day. He just allowed 2 runs in 7 innings. Cobb, you mentioned he allowed 5 runs in 5 innings. And Kelly, lifetime, 6-3, 2.56 ERA against the Giants, while Cobb, 5.88 ERA, 5 career starts versus Arizona. Just the head-to-head seems to favor Kelly in Arizona. Kelly has gotten the win in all 3 times that he's pitched against the Giants this year, and the team has won. He got a no decision in both losses. So the team's 3-2 when Kelly pitches against the Giants this year, but he's not factored into the decision in either loss. Giants have been better of late. I think the only loss in the last 10 games was the one Cobb lost on Saturday. But yeah, give me Kelly in Arizona here.
All right, guys, it's a good transition into best bets because this is my best bet, the Arizona Diamondbacks. We talked about it, just the rematch from Saturday's game. Cobb did not look good, giving up 5 runs in 5 innings. And Kelly has been pitching pretty decently, got the win in that game on Saturday. Plus the fact the Diamondbacks are up in the season series over the Giants. And just because the Giants have to win to kind of hold on to the slim chances of making the playoffs doesn't always mean they do win. Diamondbacks been playing better ball. We can get them at the plus price, plus 120. Risk 100 to win 120 in the nightcap. That's my best bet here on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Throw it over to Dave Koken. Check him out on Twitter, guys, at Dave Koken. Check out his work, WagerTalk.com. Dave's got college football running pretty well here. 87.5% on all of this year's 5% plays. He's got one up now in the NHL, actually. NHL right around the corner, guys. So check that out. Also knows his college football, NFL, and his MLB. So, Dave, throw it over to you, man. What else you got going on, and what you got for best bets for us?
The main play right now is that over 100 points prop in the NHL, which I really like. And, spend the $35. There's no discount on it, but it's worth it if you're a decent-sized bettor. You got to get paid on this. College football, I think I've got 4 games. One of them got canceled or moved again. SMU, that game has now been moved to next Wednesday. Interesting. Well, at least we'll have a football game to watch on Wednesday. Pro football won the Bengals last night, 9-4 to start the season. So it's pretty good right now. Best bet here on the show, I'll go with the Diamondbacks. They've actually made me some money down the stretch this year. And I think I've got a good chance to pick up a winner with them tonight for the reasons we've already discussed. A little plus price action on Arizona.
All right, Dave. Guys, at Dave Koken on Twitter. Dave, just follow up to that. SMU UCF changed again. It was Sunday. Now it's on Wednesday.
They moved it again.
I don't know. Orlando seems like it would be fine by Sunday. I don't know. It's kind of surprising, man.
They'd already moved the game to Boca Raton. So I don't know where they're playing on Wednesday, to be honest with you. I'll worry about that after the weekend. But they're not playing on Sunday. They're not playing on Saturday. They're not playing next Wednesday.
A little Wednesday football. All right. Hey, I love action during the week, so we get a little early here in the AAC. That will be fun. SMU, UCF. Guys, fun matchup there. But, hey, let's get into another best bet here. First pitch style, Brian Power. Guys, if you like the NFL, check him out. #1 at WagerTalk the last 7 days. 7-1 heater in the National Football League. Brian, what do you got going on, man? Where are you heading for best bets?
Well, first off, you mentioned #1 in the NFL last 7 days. Feeling good about that. Had the Bengals last night. 2-0, actually, with Thursday football. Had Utah State, too. That was kind of an ugly one. They held on, though, for the cover. We're 6-1 with Friday night college football. Obviously, lots to choose from tonight before we hit the weekend. 5 games. I've got 2 available right now for Friday. So 6-1 with Friday college football. 4-0 the last 2 weeks. We were 3-0 with best bets last Saturday. And then we should have complete cards up here within a few hours for both Saturday and Sunday. But my best bet, I'm going to stick with it, even though I know Dave hated it. I'll go with the Twins. Good friend of mine, Todd, was in town. He grew up in Minnesota last week. I know he listens to the program, so at least he'll appreciate liking the Twins.
All right, guys, that does it for best bets. Check out Brian Power, Dave Koken at WagerTalk.com. I am Drew Martin. Huge shout out to the chat box, as always. Feel free to reply below, guys. Let us know where you agree, where you disagree. All thoughts are welcome as we recap the best bets here. D-backs plus 120 for myself and Dave Koken, and the Twins minus the 155. So best of luck if you're tailing out there. Have a fun, safe weekend. We will be back on Monday. Best of luck with your bets until then. Thanks for tuning in.
If you like $9 Mondays, you will love our rest of 2022 special currently running at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Bet right alongside the handicapper of your choice through the rest of the calendar year for less than $7 per day as we head down the stretch of 2022 with 14 weeks of NFL and college football, MLB through the World Series, over 11 weeks of NHL, over 10 weeks of NBA, and over 7 weeks of college basketball. Plus any soccer, golf, MMA, or other sports your go-to handicapper releases. Lock in the 3 biggest months of betting action for only $7 per day through Sunday, October 2nd, 2022.